Hello, welcome back for another video on Ark Survival Ascended. I have been busy this last week exploring the world of modded creatures. In this video, I will be showcasing the top 40 best creature mods you can download today, in no particular order. Almost all of these mods are cross-platform unless stated otherwise. We've got a lot to showcase, so without further ado, let's get straight into it. Kicking off our list is going to be the Sunken World Additions from Snappin. It adds so much life into the ocean, including a wide variety of new tameable creatures, unique items and collectibles. It really does make the ocean worth exploring again. My favourite creature being the Henodus, which is like a big boy turtle. Once tamed, you can build on its back, where it will function just like a raft. I used to love raft exploration when I first started playing the game, but my excitement for that soon died off when the lead sick phase was introduced to the game. The Henodus is a fast swimmer, has a great carry weight, and most of all, the lead sick phase will not aggro to it. When at the bottom of the ocean, it can burrow into the ocean bed, which provides oxygen to survivors and creatures in a small radius. And this is just one of many creatures included in the mod. The Nothosaurus from Moronada is up next. The Nothosaurus loves electricity. It's definitely one of my favourites on the list. It is a fast and agile mount capable of traversing land and sea, equipped with an array of special attacks revolving around electricity, one being its charged attack, which can be charged up when attacking creatures or being attacked by anything electrical. For example, jellyfish or electrophorus. Charge it up and boom, big damage. It is a great underwater mount that can outmaneuver most threats with its speed, agility, and ability to barrel roll at high speed, giving it an edge over its aquatic competitors. It can scan for nearby silica pearls and harvest them, making it a very useful mount. Following this, we have another screamer from Moronada, which is going to be his Indomitable Duo, introducing two well-known hybrid dinosaurs, the Moro Raptor and the Moro Rex. Inspired by the Indominus Rex and Raptor, you can either encounter and tame them in the wild, or can create your own from extracted DNA taken from slain creatures. The mod adds a range of new structures and items to aid in your creation, which will immerse you in the world of genetics and evolution, giving you an experience like no other. Speaking of experiences like no other, both are much larger than their vanilla versions and do not require a saddle to ride. They have their own natural armor rating. I won't dive into their abilities too much in detail, but they are equipped with an array of deadly new attacks and abilities. But man, the animations of the attacks and the cosmetic roars are beautiful. Both can also enter boss fights, which kind of makes it a little too easy, but hey, these things are absolute beasts. If you're like me and you miss Griffins in ASA, then you'll love the Griffins mod from Griffpadar. The mythical beast we all love makes its return in this mod. You'll be able to feel that wind in your hair once again. Small versions of the Griffin can also be found. These are known as pygmies. These can be tamed and used as shoulder pets, and can carry more than one of the same artifact in their inventory. The mod does add some new structures like its own workbench, where you can saddle up your Griffins with a variety of different armor sets, which is definitely something I'd love to see in the base game. Even if they are just skins, I will be more than happy. Speaking of happiness, these beasts can also breed with one another, so we can finally have ourselves an imprinted Griffin. The Dragon's Kingdom mod from Scorching Cami is in my opinion the best dragon mod you can find in Ark today. It will unleash a new breed of dragon into your world. These ancient beasts look amazing. The amount of detail that has gone into the appearance is like nothing I've ever seen before. They have better flight dynamics as opposed to the Wyvern. They can glide and dive just like the Griffin, and depending on its size can have passenger seats. The mod adds a very cool upgrade system where dragons will come in all different shapes, sizes and tiers, with tier 5 being the strongest and largest. KO the largest of dragons to grab yourself a fertilized egg from their inventory, and you will have yourself a battle mount like no other. Up next is the Tropical Parrot from Almost Normal. I think it's safe to say that almost everyone loves parrots and shoulder pets, and the parrot is a great companion to have. It provides a healing and stamina regeneration buff to the player when in close proximity, which of course will act as a constant buff when on your shoulder. And just like the otter, it can carry more than one of the same artifact in its own inventory. The Silvatherium has been around the block for a while, from Wild Waghorn. It makes for an exceptional traveling mount with great speed, high weight and stamina stats. But the best thing about the Silvatherium is that they are able to clearly see with infrared vision, and can view creature stats, making them very useful when on the hunt for creatures to tame or breeding stats. The heavyweight champion, the Barsboldia, comes from the real Jimmy Baguette. It is a new and very exciting hadrosaur, and is one of my favourites on the list. Once tamed, becomes a strong battle mount for many reasons, with an array of powerful attacks at its disposal, consisting of directional bash attacks and a giant stomp attack known as Vyend is now. And proof is in the name, this attack is devastating. It receives a wide variety of buffs when consuming different berries, which do appear to stack when force fed to the Barsboldia. But of course, the coolest feature of this big boy is its dark edge medieval themed saddle, which allows you to wield a cannon on its back. It may be an expensive creature to use for this purpose, but man, it's a lot of fun. I wasn't joking when I said I missed Griffins in ASA. The Marnie mod's Griffins is a new mod on the scene, which of course comes from Marnie. The mod will add 2 new species of Griffins swooping through your world. I love my Griffins and also love my snow owls. This mod mixes the two into a mythical hybrid beast. The first species is the Owl Griffin, and the second species is the Royal Owl Griffin, which is much larger than the basic Owl Griffin. Both looking beautiful as ever, I must add. They do have a saddle, which seems like it can be used as a portable smithy and has weight reduction for heavy resources. It looks to function the same way as the Argentavis. I have to commend Marnie on the detailed textures and animations. This is definitely the best Griffin mod right now in my opinion. She has also stated that she is aiming to add more Griffin species in the future, so I highly recommend checking out the mod if you haven't already. Moving on to some of the Reclamation additions, we have the Pyjaks from Amalgamiac Gaming. It is evident that they are relatives of the Jerboa family, albeit a more aggressive version of the cute fuzzball we all love so much. With a few unique abilities, they function as a portable freezer, giving consumable items a massively prolonged spoil timer. When set to wander, they will produce their own milk in their inventory over time, which can be consumed by your player to rapidly heal yourself or force fed to tame creatures. It is also a Jerboa, so it's still one of the cutest creatures in the game. Oh, look at that cute little face. Another from Reclamations is going to be the Ditretraceras. It may look like a colourful trike, which it kinda is, sharing the same attacks and charge mechanics as a trike, but it does handle better, has a faster sprinting speed, and has a few tricks up its sleeve. It has a stomp attack creating an AoE torpor inducing gas cloud, which deals a lot of torpor to anything inside the cloud. It can also create special grenades in its inventory known as gland grenades. These require biotoxin and poison grenades to craft. These grenades are completely non-lethal and works similar to its torpor cloud, but is much stronger. Any KO task will be no problem for the Ditretraceras. The third and final Reclamations creature I wanted to showcase is the Fulgur. Yes, it is a sheep, but it's not just a sheep. The Fulgur is very fast and agile with the ability to jump great distances. You can use scissors to shear their coats for twice as much wool than the ovis, and it grows back twice as fast. Although not the best battle mount by any means, they are actually quite strong with a melee attack that can temporarily stun targets, and when in groups do have pack buffs. Never underestimate the power of the sheep. Moving from land to sea, we have the Tylasaurus from Moronada. It is closely related to its cousin the Mosasaur, sharing similar stats but being slightly smaller in size and far more agile. Equipped with a variety of different attacks including a venom bite with 3 different modes, it will generate ammo for each in its inventory over time. For example, the Trank venom bite is very useful for knocking out creatures. These can also be upgraded via its radial menu with every level up it gains. It can jump in and out of water, which gives it a small healing buff, healing a decent chunk of its health, which has a pretty short cooldown. The saddle also gives the rider breathable oxygen, so no need for a scuba tank. There's not many aquatic creatures out there that give you a thrill ride like the Tylasaurus. The Draconis Glaucus is an aquatic dragon from the modder that I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce. Apologies for that. The Glaucus loves electricity similar to the Nothosaurus and has a variety of electrical attacks that can stun targets and attackers. Its electricity levels can be charged up by killing and harvesting jellyfish or from consuming the biotoxin itself. It is a very quick swimmer and can get you to the opposite side of the ocean very quickly. It also has a ranged breath attack at its disposal, which functions similar to that of a lightning wyvern's elemental attack. A tough alpha variant is also included with a mod which if killed will reward you with high quality saddles. Here we have ourselves the first large sauropod on the list. This is the Diamantinasaurus from Nick BS2. It is around the same size as the Brontosaurus and is a very useful dino to have if you're looking to hoard or carry around a lot of items. Equipped with a platform saddle and 3 armor attachments, the caravan chest piece giving anything inside its inventory 50% weight reduction, the leggings armor piece which will produce med brews over time in its inventory, which is a little odd, but I'm not complaining. The helmet further improving weight reduction protection to a whopping 75%. And I must say I'm loving the amount of detail in these saddles and armor pieces. As it has a platform saddle, you can build a mobile base on top. It has stomp attacks, which can harvest a variety of collectibles including rocks, so they are great for farming metal and similar resources. It also has a giant stomp attack which deals massive damage. And when it isn't busy hoarding heavy loads around the map, it likes to go to beddy bye-byes. Oh, look how cute it looks. Next up we have additional creatures Paranoia from the real Shadloss. It is a great mod if you like strange, messed up, large and deadly creatures, unlike anything I have seen before. This mod adds a small selection of rare tameable monsters to your world, and they are very rare spawns. Being as they are so rare, they will always spawn as high levels, so that's a great bonus. From my experience, each of these monsters are pretty strong, versatile, and are equipped with an array of different attacks at their disposal. The Paleo Ark mod is probably one of the most popular creature mods out there today, and for good reason. It comes from Up from the Depths. This mod introduces the Evo Rex and the Evo Giga, completely reworked and overhauled with new models, animations, quality of life features, and abilities of professional quality. It is no surprise that this mod is loved by so many, and I am one of those people. I absolutely love this mod, and in my opinion, it is the best version of the Rex and the Giga in the game. The amount of work that has gone into their appearance and animations is evident. I love the way that the Giga can go into a crouch stance as if it is stalking its prey. I really wish there were more animations like this for vanilla dinosaurs in the base game. I'm pretty certain that as of now, Up from the Depths does work for Wildcard, so unfortunately I'm not sure if the team will add any more Paleo versions to it, which is a shame, but hey, let's move on to the next one. Another awesome hadrosaur to add to the list is the Shuntungosaurus, which comes from Deimos. It is a great utility dino to have around with a pretty quick base movement speed considering its large size, having high weight and stamina stats allowing it to take care of business when it comes to farming berries and wood. Not the best battle mount by any means, but it does have a decent attack damage with the rider able to wield their weapons when mounted. Next we have the Meiolania from Ziphius, and is more of a lover than a fighter, but if you equip one with its artillery saddle, the enemy best take cover. Using mortar rockets as ammo, it can rain down a deadly mortar barrage upon its enemies. Capable of damaging metal, it's a pretty expensive creature to use, but it could be fun on a PC unofficial PvP server. I know I had a lot of fun after spawning in 1,000 mortar shells. Moving on to the Bombardier Beetle from Snappin. The mod features two variants of Beetle. The Bombardier Beetle, which is equipped with a ranged explosive cannon. It will passively produce an organic substitute of gunpowder in its inventory over time, so if you like making bullets, having a few of these around your base could be very handy. The second variant of Beetle is the Blaze Beetle. Its ranged attack comes in the form of a flamethrower. It will also produce an organic substance in its inventory, which is a direct substitute to propellant. And I was welcomed in discovering that these ranged attacks are surprisingly not too overpowered, which is honestly what I was expecting, so that was a nice surprise. Both beetles can also fly, well, kinda. Up next is Big Owl's Carcha rework, the small version. From Big Owl, of course. The mod adds a smaller version of the Carcharodontosaurus, where the stats and size are comparable to a Tyrannosaurus Rex, with changes to the model and its animations. I am a big fan of this mod, as I'm pretty certain that the game developers made the Giga and the Carcha way too big for their boots. I'm not the most knowledgeable on history, but I'm pretty sure in real life they were all around similar sizes. Its Blood Rage ability works similar to its vanilla counterpart, but there are some changes to keep it balanced, and yes, it can now enter boss arenas, which is pretty exciting. The Dracomorph from Eclipse is another cool modded creature, sharing similar mechanics to the Dimorphodon, however not perched on your shoulder, but instead enabling it as a shoulder follower. This shoulder companion can fire projectiles to assist in taming a variety of creatures, as the ranged attack inflicts a lot of torpor damage. You will feel almost invincible with a flock of Dracomorphs at your side, so they are pretty handy when playing Scorched Earth. You'll be able to easily knock out wild wyverns. Who even needs a trap when you have a flock of these magnificent beasts? Retrieving milk never felt so easy. Everybody loves wyverns, so what better than to have one as a shoulder pet companion? This is the Wyvern Pets mod from the Nior. Each wyvern will give the player an extra health buff and other unique buffs depending on what type of wyvern is perched on their shoulder. For example, the Ice Wyvern will grant the player with an extra 500 cold resistance. And as expected, it feels pretty good watching your mini pet wyverns wreak havoc upon your enemies. Prehistoric Beasts Part 1 to 4 is a franchise of creature mod packs from Queen Krista, with each installment filling your world with a wide variety of new creatures and dinosaurs covering land, sea and air. There is over 30 creatures combined over all 4 of the packs, so there is a lot to sink your teeth into. If you're like me and miss the good old Ark days of encountering a new creature in the wild, not knowing whether it is friendly or aggressive and having no idea how to tame it, well, these could be the creature mod packs for you. Additional Creatures Wild Ark from the Real Chadlus is another great creature mod pack which will add a large collection of new, interesting and beautiful creatures to your world. These can act as great alternatives to pre-existing creatures or by having their own niche entirely. It features some really cool dinosaurs and creatures, but sadly this mod pack is not crossplay, which is a little disappointing for console players. Next up we have Cyrus's Kaiju Prismorax. I'm not typically too keen on giant monster type mods like these, but I do know a lot of people that are, and the Prismorax has been done extremely well by Cyrus. If you're bored of vanilla Ark and all the creatures and dinos within, then you can spice up your Ark journey with this guy. Once tamed, you'll pretty much have your own Godzilla that will obliterate anything and everything that gets in its way. The Hatzegopteryx from Cepheus is a massive flyer, around the size of a Quetzal and looks like its cousin too. It has some cute little idle animations which I really like and can be equipped with 2 different saddles, a standard saddle and the desert saddle, which I can almost not even tell the difference, but it's cool nonetheless. These saddles do also have a passenger seat. This powerful flyer can pick up small to large creatures in its beak and carry them wherever it wants, or if it's feeling rather peckish, it can pick up smaller creatures and eat them whole, which gives it a heal buff similar to the Argentavis rapid regeneration buff. For a large flyer, it is relatively fast and does pack a punch when used as a battle mount. Next up is the cute little guy, the Magna Gecko, another beauty from Cyrus Creates. It can be found roaming the wild in an array of dazzling colours. They will serve as a very handy shoulder pet. Its tail can be dropped or horribly cut off with a hatchet, which can be used to lure wild creatures, so it can make taming passive flea creatures a whole lot easier. Of course the trike isn't passive, but you get the idea. And I know it's pretty mean to chop its tail clean off, but it will grow back 10 minutes later, so it's forgiven and forgotten in no time at all. It does appear to have a better weight reduction than a typical shoulder pet, as the scuba tank, which normally weighs 20, only weighs 12 once placed in its inventory, and only weighs a total of 6 when perched on my shoulder, so you'll be able to carry a lot more items when out exploring. Plus they are another strong contender for the title of the cutest creature in Ark. Oh, so cute. Kaluga's Appalachian Denizens from Kaluga delivers slightly more accurate variants of the existing Ark animals in the game, as well as some new animals. These don't add much, but they do bring more variety to your maps and playthroughs. There are a number of creatures already included with the mod, and more will be coming in the future. Expect to see the Appalachian Cave Bear, Grey Wolf, Mammoth, Ceratosaurus, and the Stag, just to name a few. These versions tend to either be smaller or much larger than their vanilla counterparts, as seen with the Stag here, which is an absolute giant. Up next we have the king of the ocean, the Levyatan, which is another beauty from Moronada. I must admit the quality of Moronada's mods are out of this world. Every single one is of outstanding quality. This is also the only premium mod on the entire list. To be able to play this, it will set you back $5. This beast hosts many custom abilities and offers great utility. It is an absolute monster, towering over all aquatic life. Even the Shastasaurus looks like a baby in comparison. It has a wide variety of deadly attacks at its disposal, with almost every attack able to output a lot of damage.Its water jump is amazing, by the way. Look at this thing go. It has high stats across the board, multiple types of saddles, providing it with some badass looking bone armor, or kitting it out with a siege saddle that even has a mounted gun to rain down on your enemies, which uses element as ammo, by the way. I never thought throwing money down the drain could be so fun. This mod adds its own crafting bench to craft and upgrade saddles, and a variety of different structures and items, including the communication tablet, which is what you will need to tame one. There is also an alpha variant included in the mod, offering you an extra challenge within ocean exploration, and this thing is not for the faint-hearted. It absolutely flattened my tame Levyatan. It is definitely a fight you'll be wanting to be well prepared for, as it will also spawn a ton of minions alongside it, including alpha predators. I must admit it's very exciting to have a water boss like this. If you somehow do manage to kill it, you will be rewarded with some tasty loot, which also includes a ton of element. Arkology New Encounters from Dragonheart 7998 introduces you to the world of Arkology, where the mod adds new variants of creatures and dinosaurs to your game. Far too many to mention, but they are all looking beautiful, I must say. The mod also adds new alpha variants to your game like the Alpha Spino, Uranus, and many other alpha dinos. They can all be killed for small rewards similar to the vanilla alphas from the base game. I'd also like to point out that Dragonheart does also have a YouTube channel featuring an awesome Ark cinematic series, which includes creatures from the mod. I highly recommend checking that out. Link to the channel will be in the description of the video. The Ark Additions creatures come from Garuga, and I'll be showcasing a few of my favorites coming to the base game. Starting off with a Brachiosaurus, a giant when compared to its cousin the Brontosaurus, equipped with a devastating attack, the Romper Stomper Stomp attack, which will deal massive damage. It can be set to one of two stances: Battle Stance, which increases its damage output, and the Harvesting Stance, increasing its gathering capabilities. It can also harvest rocks like metal nodes, for example. Another ability to note is that it has a much stronger version of the Uranus Fearoar, which can even scare off a Giga. The Dinotherium is one of my favourites from Ark Additions, much larger and stronger than its mammoth cousins, with a wide variety of devastating attacks at their disposal. They have herd buffs, with males and females possessing their own rally calls that will buff nearby members of the herd, the male increasing damage dealt and stamina regeneration, with the female increasing damage resistance. They are absolute beasts, and I can't wait for the official version to release. The Acrocanthosaurus is a large theropod in between the size of a Rex and the Giga. It is said to share similar stats to the Rex, but I beg to differ, as it does have a variety of strong attacks that deal a lot of damage and cause massive knockback to even the biggest of targets. It can go into a shield stance, giving it the ability to tank more damage, which will also increase its adrenaline meter. Once full, it will convert its adrenaline into sheer power, increasing its damage output for a duration of time, making it a far deadlier killing machine. The Helicoprion is a fish that is a similar size to the Megalodon. In this case, looks are deceiving, however, as its temperament is much calmer than the Megalodon. They pose no threat unless provoked. Once tamed, it makes for a decent travelling and battle mount, with a tail spin attack that can temporarily stun a wide variety of creatures, which will also inflict torpor, so for any unprepared survivor the result can be lethal. But what the Helicoprion is most famous for is its ability to turn items into blueprints, and we all love blueprints. It does have its own stat for conversion success rate, which will slightly improve your chances of receiving a blueprint the more you level the stat. And as this creature is coming to the official game, it may be a good idea to save those high quality items for later on. As you can see, it converted my cheeky Ascendant Longneck rifle into a blueprint. Cheers, bud. The final Ark Additions creature I wanted to showcase is the Arkolon. It is a giant turtle with high health, weight, and stamina stats. An exceptional swimmer which, just like the Carbonemis, can make its way to land slowly but surely. Its saddle offers 4 passenger seats which will supply both the rider and each passenger with breathable oxygen, immune to the jellyfish stun, and a great harvester of biotoxin. It does also receive the jellyfish killer buff when killing jellyfish, which will increase its damage output. When accessing its radial menu, you can collect its algae, which is an ingredient used to craft algae sushi. This can be force fed to wild creatures to slightly replenish any lost taming effectiveness. The Vectispinus from Tristan's Modding is definitely one of my favourite modded dinos. It makes for the perfect all-terrain mount, whether it be traversing land or sea, with its exceptional diving and swimming ability, where it also possesses no oxygen stat. It can be equipped with 2 different saddles, the basic saddle and the artillery saddle. The artillery cannon looks badass, taking artillery shells as ammo. It can switch to and from artillery mode, where you'll be able to lay down an artillery barrage upon your enemies. These artillery cannons obliterate stone and can also damage metal. It has a nice selection of attacks at its disposal, including a ranged water breath attack, fully defining the phrase spray and pray, and also a raw buff similar to the Uranus, where it will buff itself and any creature within the Spinosaur family for a short duration of time, for example the Baryonyx or the Spinosaurus. It does also have a sit option, which gives it a small healing buff. Oh, look how cute it looks. Next up is the Eocarcharia, also from Tristan, around the size of an Allosaurus and shares similar pack buffs, with stats also rivaling the Allo. Once again, the mod comes with awesome armor pieces, allowing for some cool customization, with each piece adding further protection, boosting its armor rating. It can also craft custom recipes in its inventory, which can be force fed to any of your tame creatures to give them temporary buffs. The Jumping Spider is another glorious mod from Cyrus Creates. It is a creature I've probably had the most fun using in a very long time. It can cling to vertical surfaces, jump great distances with its charge jump, and can even charge jump its way to another vertical surface across the other side of the map. Equipped with 2 different bite modes, one to boost its damage output and its torpor bite, which deals less damage as a whole but increases torpor damage. This can be used in combination with its lovely pants attack, which can pin and easily KO a wide variety of creatures. Up next we have the Nothosaurus from Schmitto. It is a great caving mount and has its own saddle attachments. The shield, which protects the rider from a variety of different attacks including projectiles. It will also protect the rider from a wide variety of other threats too. For example, the poisonous atmosphere in the swamp cave from the island, and the helmet blade, which will increase its melee damage, and does also receive a small insect killer buff when killing bugs similar to the Megatherium, but not nearly half as strong. If you're looking for a substitute for your Baryonyx, the Nothosaurus could be for you. I still think the Baryonyx is better, but it's still a great dino nonetheless. And the final creature on the list, which apparently I can't count because this is number 41. It is the Moraxes from Big Owl, and what a way to close out the video. It is a medium to large theropod, sharing similar stats to the Rex, I would like to say, with some really cool animations and a beautiful cosmetic roar, able to unleash attacks dealing a decent amount of damage, yeeting smaller creatures into oblivion. If it takes too much damage, it does have a rage mechanic where it will deal more damage for a short duration of time. It also has a secondary roar, which gives it a small healing buff. All these reasons make the Moraxes a great battle mount. It's honestly such a cool dinosaur, and I really love the way that its scales change color, which occurs when in rage mode. It is much more noticeable at night. Almost feels like watching the Northern Lights, but in dinosaur form, and I didn't even notice this until later on. If you did want to know more about either the Vectispinus, Eocarcharia, Thorax Spider, Nothosaurus, or the Moraxes, I do have a full spotlight guide that showcases all 5, which of course will show you how to tame each and every one. Link will be in the description of the video and in a pinned comment. And that is going to be the end of the video. I hope you all enjoyed it, and hopefully I contributed to you discovering some more awesome new creatures to check out. This video has taken me countless days to finish, so if you did enjoy the video and would like to see more, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. My goal is to try and hit 50,000 subscribers this year, so I'd really appreciate it. And feel free to chuck down a comment and let me know what your favorite modded creature is. I will stick links to all the mod pages in the description of the video, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Take care, goodbye.